Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Big Weekly Blend Show. This is a show that we air every Sunday. It's a companion to our Big Weekly Blend magazine. You can check that all at blendradioandtv.com. All the links we talk about on the show today will be in our show notes, whether you're listening on YouTube or Facebook or Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening, it will be there. But you know, every fourth Sunday, our friend Joey Stuckey joins us to co-host the show. Nancy and I love this. We love the show because we look at upcoming holidays for the month or the week. And there's a whole bunch of really, I don't know who creates these. I was going to say like stupid, but I shouldn't say the word stupid. Nancy told me never to use the word stupid when I was a kid. But there's silly ones. There's foodie ones that we really like. But there's also a lot that bring up awareness to different illnesses, to wellness, to social issues, wildlife conservation issues. So there are good ones too. But today we're going to be still touching on the upcoming holidays. We're going from the end of August. So we're saying goodbye to August, my favorite month since it's my birth month, and then going into September, which I still claim as my birth month because I can. And, but the thing is, we're going to really talk about a birth month. It's a different birthday. We're going to be talking about the 6th Annual Joey Stuckey Alive Day Festival. It's a free family music concert held September 29th in downtown Macon, Georgia. I encourage you to go to the website, joeystuckey.com. So Joey is here. He's brought some good friends on, some musical friends. But before we introduce them, Nancy, I think we got to give a little overview of Joey. What do you think? You ready for the big sentence? Everything.
Overview of Joey. Woo-woo.
I know. Joey's got an overview. Joey is the official music ambassador for Macon, Georgia, which is known as the Southern rock capital of the world. And Georgia, I don't care. You got to look at the whole state. We've got people, you know, we've got the Allman Brothers all the way to REM. Of course, we got Joey. That's important. Joey's an award-winning blind guitarist. He's a songwriter, a singer, a composer, producer, radio and television personality, a music columnist, an educator, and sound engineer. He basically rocks, and we're so excited to be focusing on him and his special Alive Day Festival, and he's going to tell us all about that in a second because he's here. How are you, Mr. Joey?
I'm well, my friends. It's always a privilege to be with you, and I'm excited I have an overview. I also have an open bite, so now I've got two things.
So what are you going to bite into for a live day? Do they give you a cake? Because it's not technically your birthday, but it's like a birthday.
So,
but do you get cake? Do you get cake? That's important.
Well, we're gonna have pizza.
That's even more important. That's more important in my book.
So my parents did this amazing thing. You know, when I was about 18 months old, my mom was very concerned and felt like something was wrong with me. And you know, moms know that. You know, parents know that. And so she took me to the doctor and they're like, you know, you're just an overprotective mother, go home, bake some cookies, leave us alone kind of thing. And then, my dad let go of my hand and, I took a few steps and I fell down a flight of almost 30 stairs down to like a concrete floor. Right. And, they rushed me to the ER and they're like, oh, I think this kid's blind. And, so then they tried to figure out, okay, well, is this, you know, what's causing that? So they discovered the brain tumor that I had. And so the brain tumor, essentially what it was doing, it was crushing all the wiring in my head, you know, by growing at a really exponentially fast rate. And so, it took my eyesight, took my sense of smell. It gave me a host of health challenges that have led to, for example, I don't produce adrenaline. So that's very challenging. It can be very dangerous if I don't manage that carefully. And then I have like a metal shoulder to metal hip that I have later in life that were latent issues from the brain tumor that we weren't really expecting. But the important news is that they said that they had to do the brain tumor surgery or I would for sure die. But that even if they did the surgery, you know, my outlook wasn't really good, that I might not live. And if I did live, most likely I would not walk or talk. And
Wow.
so we did that surgery, and here I am, man. I've been 40-something years. I'm doing all the things I want to do. Certainly, I have to navigate things a little differently. Certainly being blind is not something I'd recommend if you can avoid it. But I mean, but my parents did this remarkable thing, and this is what gets us to the heart of Alive Day. I stay constantly enamored with my mom and dad and how they thought and how they raised me, because it would have been very simple and understandable to have this day as a day of fear, that it's the day I almost died. It's the day I probably wasn't going to make it, this very traumatic thing. But what they did was they changed it to a day of affirmation in a very simple but profound way. And that way was they said, look, this is not the day you almost die. It's the day you beat the odds. And
exactly.
So I think that was a really important thing for my development as a person that feels capable, and a person that certainly recognizes their limitations. It'd be insane if I didn't, but someone that doesn't define themselves in terms of their limitations. I certainly own the fact that I can't see and have these other challenges, and plan accordingly. But I don't, that's not all I am. That's not the totality of my being. So my parents started this as sort of a second birthday, and what kid doesn't like that? And back when I was a little kid, yes, we certainly did have cake. We may even have cake this year, who knows? But it was something I quietly celebrated with very close friends and family ever since I was 2 or 3 years old. And then in 2017, it occurred to me that everyone needs to take a moment out of their busy, crazy schedule to celebrate the joys and triumphs of life, our successes. And, it's so easy to think about, as we as human beings tend to think about the negative. The negative tends to be what we talk about and what we, think about. So I think this is an important day for us to come together as neighbors, as members of the same community, as lovers of art, as fellow beings, to come together and just have a joyful day. And so I started doing a free family-friendly music festival in Macon in 2017. And we've been doing it in some form or fashion ever since. During COVID, we had to really shrink it down to basically Facebook Live stuff. And so, we did that for a couple of years, but we're back. We're back in the public. We're doing it again at the historic Douglas Theater in downtown Macon. And we're having an amazing day. And, the thing that's so exciting for me is every year I ask people that are friends, clients, collaborators to join me in playing some music for our town. And the thing that's so exciting about that is I ask people who like get it. They get Alive Day. They understand the mission. They understand that, we want to share, joy and love and light, and we can do that through our craft. And so it's always so exciting just to have those dear friends around and just to celebrate together. And we've got an amazing lineup this year. We really do. Every year we have an incredible lineup. But, I personally curate who I invite to participate. And it's always people that are, ridiculously talented and also who understand the mission. So that's what we're doing this year. I'm so happy to be back in the community this year.
It's exciting.
It is.
I want people
to shake your booty day.
Absolutely.
It is. Well, everyone should shake their tail feathers at some point.
Yeah, come on, shake your booty day.
And I think it should be a daily practice. It goes into gratitude, right? And
absolutely.
Music, I think there's something amazing about music that transcends. I know we talk about this all the time with you, Joey, on the show and others. And there's something that no matter what's going on in life, to me personally, if I put music on, if I have hey, writer's block, just play some music, and then you may not write, but you will shake your tail feathers. You'll feel something. You'll get that emotional connection. Music reminds you you're alive. It's like being outside in nature and hearing the birds.
Well,
where do we get that
I agree.
from?
Music is a primal force. I mean, it's a very core of our essence to make music, to emote. I think that's a real part of the human spirit. And and it taps into the life force, to the cosmic, just the joy of being alive. Now, every day, we all face challenges every day. And I'm not saying, by the way, that you should be happy 24/7, because that's crazy. If I was happy all the time, you should really worry about me, because I'm probably going to do something really weird. But I really think that, while we should acknowledge the difficulties in life and recognize them so we can combat them, you do want to stay in a place, if not of complete happiness or joy, but a state of gratitude for what you have. So certainly not being able to see is a challenge, but I can hear.
Yeah, exactly. You can hear and you can feel, and also
people don't like to feel as much as they used to, but that's
there's
look at all your talents. Look at your talents. Come on.
And I want to say this we've actually done shows with deaf musicians, and people go, "What the hell you mean?" I'm like, yeah. It's about vibration and certain frequencies, and so music does transcend in so many ways. And you've got some special guests on the show with us. I want to bring on.
do.
But joeystuckey.com is the website, everybody, again in the show notes. Let's bring Pam Bedwell on the show. We've played her music on one of our playlists.
We have.
Yes, and Pam is out in Alabama. She understands what it's like to be in the swampy south of heat, and she's got a wonderful voice, beautiful compositions, and has recorded with Joey. So welcome to the show, Pam. How are you?
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, I feel very humbled right now, and set the bar pretty high. I'm good. I'm inside, so I'm not having to slog around in the humidity right now. And
that's because you're with great intelligence. That's
yeah, that's it. But Pam, tell us about when you first met Joey.
Interesting. I did not write my first song until 2014. And I was at Middle Georgia State University in Macon, and we had a new president join us. And the president, for his convocation, he's a bass guitar player, and he wanted to pull together some faculty just to do a faculty band, sort of a one and done. And we continued to play together for a while. And Joey had this competition for local new music that he wanted to put a compilation CD together that he could use for promotional purposes, or the city could use for promotional purposes. So this group I was with talked me into writing this song and submitted. And so we did, and we actually won one of those spots on the CD.
Oh,
so
awesome.
So we went in to record, and Joey, with all of his joy and enthusiasm, came up to me and he said, "You got any more?"
I love it.
I said, "Well, I do, but I don't even know where to begin with this," because that was in 2018, Joey, when it was released. The CD would have been 2017. And he said, "Just follow me." Well, I had to chuckle, because I thought,
you followed a blind man
that are visually impaired.
I just say that.
Love it.
Yeah,
because he does drive. There's that song, "Blind Man
Yes,
Driving."
he does.
Yeah,
And so I said, "Lead the way, Joey. I'm all in." So I took some songs to him, and he was extremely supportive. And I released my first music CD in 2018. And except for the drums on one track, Joey played every instrument. But this is the magic of Joey. I'd go in the studio and work, and he would give me the data for the day. And then I would go back the next time for whatever reason. I'd say, "Joey, I just heard a banjo in there. I don't remember a banjo when we were in the studio." And he'd laugh, and he'd say, "Well, I just thought it needed one, so I just played it for it." And so that's how we met. And he's just been a tremendous support. He's educated me about the business. And I will say this, I think this is important, and it speaks to who Joey is as a person. But when we went in the studio for the first time, he said, "We're not going to make music. You're going to put out pen and paper and listen to me." He said, "I want you to read this book, because indie artists need to know the business. You need to know the business before you release a song."
Wow.
And I have followed that rule of thumb, and it has served me well.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about that on the show with Joey too, about copyrights and all that. Listen, like Joey said, we posted this. I think it was one of the first big weekly blends we did with Joey, and Joey's been on prior to that. And I said, so Joey, what's that thing about, you write a song and you send it to yourself in the mail and a postage stamp makes it, which I always said was like, doesn't even make sense. Like,
no.
And I remember having a songwriting book, right?
I am trying to make that myth die.
And they put it in there
to kill it.
And I was like, why did I spend $20 on a songwriting book? And all they were trying to do is deconstruct Bob Dylan. And I'm sorry, Bob Dylan is just Bob Dylan. You're going to get in his head. There's going to be some interesting things like a Bear Mountain Picnic and all kinds of, If you've heard that song, you're going to be in a bathtub with a murder and a slaughter and a battle. There's no
deconstruct
Bear
Bob
Mountain.
Dylan. How dare you?
You can't.
Dare you?
And don't mail your songs in an envelope. And Joey was very, so we even put up a link to that. He's got an interview from his podcast from a few years back with his entertainment attorney. But the music business, it's just like the podcasting and the editorial, the publishing. It's the Wild West, and especially with the internet. So I would absolutely listen to Joey. But I want to bring our next guest on. I'm going to bring Nick Malloy on. Welcome, Nick. How are you?
Hello. How are y'all doing? Pleasure to meet you all.
Hey, it's good to have you on the show. So you play guitar. You're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. Yeah, rocking and rolling. Yes, yeah. But I'm. It's music. I love music. It's fun.
Yeah, cool.
So I've heard.
Nick is very special to me for a lot of reasons, as are all the guests that I brought on today. But his dad is a dear family friend of mine and has been for a million years. I don't want to think about how long because it makes me realize I'm old.
Not old, experienced,
but
Nick,
alive.
I have had the privilege of watching Nick grow as an artist, seeing him play in some bands and seeing him play solo. And, for a while I was his vocal coach, and he's absolutely fantastic and just has the only thing I can say is such a presence that transcends the musical ability, but he has such a presence when he performs. So and I was excited that, COVID was lifted and for a little while Nick was not performing, and now he's getting back out. I'm so pumped to have him able to come join us this year. It's very exciting.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Yeah. I'm looking forward. I appreciate the invite. Yeah, I know my dad saw y'all recently, so that'll be fun, man. It's I'm stoked for it, and any opportunity's good. For those that I guess they're kind of on here learning, I was paralyzed in a car wreck in 2012. Coming from a show and the late nights they catch up with you at some point, so you got to be careful, especially when you don't have enough sleep. But for the longest time I didn't think I'd be able to play guitar again or sing, and then that was 2012, and just within the past 3 years I've kind of got built up the stamina, if you will, to get back out playing. And I was like, let me try and play one of these 3-hour gigs again. And
wow,
3 hours. Sure enough, I was like, I don't know if I have it in me anymore. So I booked the show, and 3 hours into the show, I hadn't had a break, and I was like, okay, I need to do this again. So it's been a blessing. Yes.
You've got a lot of spirit. I was on your Facebook page.
I love that.
Today and just looking at your energy, you can connect. You definitely connect. The energy is there. And I just look happy.
I want to say too that, those 3-hour shows honestly aren't healthy for anybody.
No.
Nancy said it's Bruce Springsteen's fault.
Bruce Springsteen did it.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is, as artists, most of the venues where we can perform are controlled by non-music professionals. And what I mean by that is people that don't really understand what it takes to put on a show. If you're playing and singing your heart out, that's a lot of expended energy, man. It's exhausting.
Cracks me
up.
Yes.
And especially if you're like me, and Nick, I know you're like me, because I like to leave my guts on the stage.
Oh, yes,
you know what I'm saying? And boy, after 3 hours there, you're whooped.
Yes.
then you got to pack up, drive home. It's the whole thing.
But at the same time, you're amped. But there's also like a weird you're amped and tired at the same time. It's such a weird energy.
The energy goes up and down, up and down, up and down, dependent on the audience. And then when you go home, you're on a high. And then you go, oh, did I really do that well? I don't know.
Then you start going through everything. Oh, God.
The other thing people don't realize is like when you're touring is that you've got typically you play a city. Now I try not to do this for my health. But what I try to do is go take over a specific locale with about a 65 to 70 mile range. And we hit that zone for 2 weeks and then come home. But even then, you're on the road, you're driving, you're riding. Even riding is which I can't stress. I can't drive. I mean, even riding is exhausting when you do it for 13, 14 hours. And then you got to play the gig. You got to load in. You got to sound check. You got to break down. You got to shake hands and kiss babies and sign CDs and sell merch. You got to take pictures for your social media.
Hey, listen, babies. William Shatner said babies are just aliens. You know they are. They are.
Well,
so you're kissing aliens.
To that, I suppose. Yeah.
Just letting you know.
And I know they're aliens until you.
I know.
Teach them.
I want to bring our next guest on the show, but I do understand that driving and what happens. And once in a while, Nancy goes to say, "Hey, you want to have breakfast?" And I'm like, "I'm not even. I don't exist. Leave me." For a day.
This last really special guest. We've saved the most interesting for last because he's a weird dude that I love with all my heart.
The last but not least at all, Tom Rule, and I put him at the last because he has more patience because he works in the education system.
And I like the last name Rule.
I know. I know. Do you have a ruler? No, But welcome, Tom.
My father-in-law used to call me Tom Yardstick and thought it was hilarious.
That is
no way.
There's a bunch of puns there. Rules are made to be broken, and I'm old enough where I am. You've heard of rules of thumb. Well, I've got thumbs of rule.
Well, listen, you could have the last name of Smith like mine. I would prefer a name that creates real good,
It's Tom Rule by name, but not by nature. That's how I understand.
Yeah, well, exactly.
But
welcome.
What that means.
Tom,
I can't believe that.
Tom, where are you based out of? Where are you, Tom?
I'm based out of Macon, Georgia. I'm actually at the moment sitting up the hill from the studio at the day job. And I've known Joey for longer than either one of us wants to admit.
I mean, the 90s.
We're in the implausible deniability stage. Yeah,
absolutely.
But tell us how you met Joey.
Oh gosh, I was head of the music department. I bet you I do. It's one of two things. I was the head of the music department at what is now Middle Georgia State back in the 90s, and I had started some music technology classes and wanted to take the guys out to a studio. And Joey was part owner of what used to be Capricorn at the time, and that was when we first met.
That's right. Very good.
So he did a great job showing the kids. And then, I don't know, a couple years later, we connected. You were playing a festival out in front of City Hall, and I'll pop by. And then I don't remember after that. It's been too long. But I've been in the band for a long time. And
I want to let everybody know that Tom is one of my primary resources when I need great piano session work at the studio. He's also a resource for any technology woes that I have at the studio. And one of the most important things, first of all, he's all these people that are on today are stellar human beings that I love with all my heart. That's the biggest thing. And they're all extremely talented musically. But one of Tom and I have done a lot of different things, but one of the things we've done most successfully was the 2012-2013 record Mixture, which is a jazz record. And Tom was my co-writer on all that stuff. And that record charted at number 9 on the CMJ Top 40 Jazz charts, beating out such stellar jazz artists as Dinah Krall and Lee Ritenour, which is impressive. Which is impressive when you realize that they had a record label behind them and we did not. And So I'm very proud of that music. And Tom and I've got a bunch of other stuff we've written together too that we're trying to get together and finish and release. It's sort of novelty country songs, which is we found a rhyme for contrapuntal. So that tells you everything you need to know about that. But
wow.
He's an amazing. He's a big
country.
Part of my
you're going
life.
From jazz to country, but that doesn't make sense when you're in Macon, Georgia. It makes sense.
But he's a big part of my life spiritually and also professionally, and just one of the finest people you'd ever want to meet. So good on Tom.
Well, see, this is it. A Live Day is about that, and it's not just about one day. It's about family, but it's not one day. One day is there to shake you up and remind you, get some good vibes to continue that. But
it's a state of being. It's a state of grace.
And you can't play music happily with people you don't like.
This is true.
No.
I've often thought of brutally murdering several of my clients. But...
Unless you're Fleetwood Mac.
No,
but they broke.
Hey, we had a band. We had a band, and it broke up on stage. Which was great. And then the audience stood up and clapped. They thought it was an act. And we were like, double rum and coke. Come on, I need one. No, it was bad. It was bad. It was. The drummer stood up and took his drumsticks and said to the rhythm guitarist, "I'm going to stick these up your nostril."
Yeah, but actually he should have stuck them somewhere else too.
Yeah.
But that was just to get into that fight. But
play a rousing game with hide the drumstick.
Well, Joey, this is a way to keep people alive, right? Just kind of stick a drumstick somewhere. But
this is not likely to happen in September.
Not on a Live Day. Not a Live Day.
Not on a Live Day. No. Joey Stuckey is a drama-free zone these days. Yeah.
So Tom. So when you're performing on a Live Day, are you doing your own set? Are you playing with Joey? What's happening for a Live Day with your music?
Well, he has suckered me into sitting in with the band, but the band's finishing out. What is it, Joey? 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm the opening set at 6. Yeah. And I'll be doing all original arrangements. What I do, it's what I create is let's say you take Dave Brubeck, George Winston, Spyro Gyra, Mozart, Haydn, Debussy, and Larry Fast, and stick them in a recording studio next to a church with a killer pipe organ that's cranked to 11. That's kind of what I create.
That is brilliant. That's a brilliant description. Why have I not heard this before?
Well, because I didn't bother to tell you. But I'll be doing.
You guys are friends.
That's brilliant.
But it's selections from a bunch of my albums. One of them was recorded at the at Shadow Sound Studio. It should be called Christmas album.
Christmas.
People will hear Christmas. Yes. I tried to start a movement to change the name to Christmas, but it failed. And then I'll be playing a couple of numbers for my next album, which is going to drop presumably on September 29th, 2023. Nice.
Very cool.
So it's called The Week Begins, and I'll be playing a couple of tunes from that. And you're going to hear a couple of quotes from Old MacDonald and Jaws, and just there's no telling, but it's not going to be obvious.
So I love that you're doing. Well, I love stuff like that where you makes people listen. It's like people doing mural art, and then they hide things in the murals that you have to find. You know, those kind of, because I think
Tom's an Easter egg kind of guy.
Yeah, I think. I get that. But so are you going to tell me that what's going to happen on Twitter with it now being X for Christmas? Like Xmas, is that what's going to happen on Twitter? I'm just saying. That made me think about that when you said Christmas. It made me think about what's going to happen this year, like with this X thing. I don't like the X.
I think you're wasting ponders there.
Yeah.
That's a good. I like that saying. Ooh.
The weird thing is that I didn't realize they would change the name, and all of a sudden on my social media apps on my iPhone, I have a screen reader that reads the apps, and all of a sudden it just started saying X, X, X. I'm like, dear God, what is happening to my phone?
X marks the spot. Yep.
I didn't know what was going on.
I know. It's weird. It's weird.
What a weird thing to do, because X the unknown. X don't go there. X you're not supposed to. So it's negative.
It's a weird.
It's also X marks the spot.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's where the treasure is.
Do you know that I had a wonderful X experience on Friday night at the studio a couple of weeks back.
Sorry, that sounds so funny.
Well, I did because there's a giant. We have a private parking lot, and there's a giant there's a giant X in front of the parking lot that the city put down, notating that you cannot park in front of the gate. That's not a parking spot. It should be fairly obvious because it's not a parking spot. But anyway, some genius decided he was going to park there, and we had six people, clients that were ready to leave the studio about 10 o'clock. And we couldn't get out because he was parked in front of our gate. So we had this genius toad called the police department, and and they came and towed him. And the interesting thing is, as soon as he saw the lights and the wrecker, he comes running out to his car. So he knew that he wasn't supposed to park there. And he told this is my favorite part. He told the cop, he goes, "Oh yeah, sorry man, I got locked out of my car." And the cop's like, "Yes, but even if that's true, sir, you parked here illegally before you got locked out." And so anyway, they towed him and
that's a dumb.
I was very happy.
We watched a family get locked themselves out of a running car with their kid in the car at a rest area in Iowa.
I'm like, and then you thought, like, do we have to go do something? Because
and then
the kid's in the heat, and there's a guy and his wife and two kids outside and a baby inside, and I'm like, what?
And they're trying to tell the baby what to do.
The word. And then and they're telling the baby to unlock the car from the inside. I'm like,
now when you say baby, what is that? How old is that?
Alien.
Like 6 months?
No, with the big eyes. The big eyes. The big guy baby. Little baby.
The baby on the inside is a new
it's in a car seat baby.
It's in a car seat baby, like in diapers.
In the back seat. And then they're trying to break in through the back.
They're telling this kid who can't even reach the damn door. Sorry for the language, but I got so angry. I'm like, do I have to come out there and fix this?
But then they kept hitting their own windows and the alarm keeps going off. I mean, rest areas are fantastic.
I learned early on never leave Tom in a car by himself. That was something that I've always
Joey, what's coming?
You call 911. They get there extra fast, especially in rest areas, because drama goes down all the time. That's why we go haunt them, because it's too much fun. But so you can call 911 and they will come and fix it. But what you don't do is circle the car and bang on the window and tell a baby that can't reach the door to open it.
But they did get it open because they got the other younger kid, to climb in through the back seat because they had the trunk open. Anyway, they did get it open. They did get it open, but this is what I want to say to you, Joey.
Oh my God, I can't stand it.
My album is going to be rest area music. It's going to be stories from the rest area. That's going to be the album.
Stupid is as stupid does.
I know. So anyway, I want to go over to Nick Malloy, everyone. Again, you can follow him on Facebook, and we'll have everyone's links and everything up on social media and all that. But Nick, what's happening for you at the Alive Day Festival music wise? Are you going to do originals, or what's happening?
That's a good question.
Do you want some rest area songs? I feel like
it's usually I like go into a show with like a plan, and then the show comes, and I'm just like, wow, there goes. You know what? You know they say practice makes perfect, but that's all bullshit. So it's no. You know,
everything is bullshit.
Yeah, it's just I usually go into a show and I'm like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. I plan all week of what I'm gonna do. Then usually the day of, like, something will happen. And then I'm someone that gets sidetracked when I'm on stage, too. And I get, like, ADD. And if I see someone doing something I call them. It's just, it's it's going to be a surprise. It's a tease.
Jack White does that. Jack White, he goes, he says the audience dictates the set list.
Yeah,
it
really is. I mean, it's just kind of, it's for me, I kind of feed off of the audience in a way, and it's so every show for me is different. So I try not to make it the same. So I just hope to keep getting better and better at it. So yeah,
that's talent. But that's talent to flip around and move with what's going on, and that means you're really present. Quite frankly, I know people want to stick to the rules and everything. Sorry, Tom, but I couldn't help that. Sorry, but the reality is, it is understand it, because it is about a flow, and it's not like the audience is dictating what you do. It's about that give and take energy of a performance, and that is why live music is so
give and take.
I mean, I know we had all the Zoom concerts, which were great during COVID, because none of us would have survived COVID without musicians on Facebook doing their concerts and everything. But there's no real give and take. I mean, the little thumbs up and little hearts, it's not the same. They're with actual personal energy, and whether you can see or not, you feel that energy. I mean, when I performed, I didn't see the audience because my eyes were closed all the time, and people kept telling me, "You've got to open your eyes. You can't go off into La La Land." I'm like, I can't help it. And I think, Joey, it's okay to have my eyes closed, right? If I want to. I mean,
it worked for Jim Morrison for the Doors. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, but he could wear hot leather pants, and right now in Arkansas, there's no way I'm wearing those. No, hell no.
Yeah, well, I do think that you can be in the moment with the audience, and whether your eyes are closed or open, or you can see or whatever it is.
I did open them.
You're all in that moment. You're all in that moment together.
You can feel it.
Sometimes I do have my eyes closed. Sometimes I do, but I like the idea that you were so enthralled with the music, you were such a vessel for the music that you had your eyes closed. So I think that's great.
Yeah, I think you're allowed
but
to.
It's I think you concentrate. You're like in it.
Yeah, for me, it's about like that feel, but it's one of those things where it's I've got lost train of thought, but it's just one of those things. Yeah. But no,
it's a beat goes on.
I own it. Pam's the root of all evil.
Good.
Even for Joey, like I feel like.
Did she eat the apple? What the hell?
Honey, I ate the whole basket.
Oh my gosh! You make apple pie?
I do.
Like, I want to come see you.
Now Nick, what were you saying?
Come on down.
No, I'm saying for you. I mean, you can probably still hear like people out in the audience having a conversation.
I can tell when they're engaged and when they're not engaged. And
for me, it's like usually I can see someone doing something, but also every now and then I catch like someone hearing. See, my thing is I'm bad at. I tell myself I'm bad at multitasking, but somehow I'm still able to play guitar, sing, remember lyrics, and all this stuff.
Well, then you multitask.
At the same time, I'm watching the crowd, and then and they're kind of entertaining me. But with going back to like you, Joey, it's like sometimes you hear a conversation, like sometimes you can pick up a conversation, you hear something, then for me, I'll stop in the middle of the song, like, what'd you say? And then like it's just like I'll catch them off guard, and like he heard that, and just like I'm like, trust me, I'm paying attention to certain things that you don't know. That's
great.
It's fun.
That's great.
That's
entertainment value.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, but you could just stop and go, "What'd you say? I heard that."
Yeah. Oh, you got a better story than my song?
I heard what you said. No, Pam, cool.
Pam, I want to go to Pam and see what she's doing at the concert. Yeah. What's happening with you?
I've heard of interpretive dance.
Yes, I'm working on it. I've got the veils and I've got my sparkle boots ready. So it should be quite interesting. It'll be all originals, but
nice.
It's important for me when I'm with an audience, I pick out the person that comes in that's going to love your music no matter what. And then I pick out the face of the person that says, show me the goods. Oh. And so I kind of play off those too.
But she is a devil.
But what I have found is that people want to be part of the experience. And so I always put in 2 or 3 sing-alongs. So I'm working on rearranging a couple of my originals so people have an opportunity to sing along. And then I always end with my signature song, which this is Joey. Joey made me do this. It's called Stale Burrito.
Yes,
I love favorites. That. I love it. I love that.
And so that I always end with that one, because by the time when I tell people, you're going to help me sing this one, we're going to close singing, and I watch them. They scoot to the front of their chair. They get another beer. They are so ready to join in that it just lifts the rafters. It lifts the roof off, and that brings me so much joy.
I want to tell people that there's a Spotify playlist on joeystuckey.com, and we'll merge it with ours that we do every week on the Big Weekly Blend podcast. We're going to merge them, and stale burritos in there. And you got to take a bite of that and then listen.
It's delicious. And I got to tell you, I love Pam. She's so much fun. And on a podcast promoting the Macon Music CD compilation that we did 2 volumes of that. And, that we gave to our tourism board to try and help promote our community's music. I was joking around with Pam on another podcast, and she was like, I was like, I can't remember exactly how it came up, but I think she said she could write a song about anything. And I said, okay, how about a stale burrito? And a couple weeks later, she showed me to keep my mouth shut. She had this brilliant. And Tom knows I'm not good at that. But she had this brilliant song. I mean, it's a brilliant song. I can't tell you how great it is.
It's a great concept, because Lisa and I live on the road, and that's pretty much what we eat is stale burritos.
Stale sandwiches.
You go through the drive-thru and they go, oh, you get your fresh burritos here. I'm like, no, it's stale.
Or the worst is when you have the gummy bear that dropped on the floor of the car.
Yeah.
Been there for a while. No, do you go for it when you're hungry? Do you go for it?
She still eats them.
You do.
Like,
you do.
Lisa, I feel sad for you. I'm going to mail you some gummy bears to keep you in stale.
That's how I drive, man. Okay, so I want to go to Tom.
I want how you drive.
Tom, listen, I've taken us around this country. I know this has become a crazy show, but it's good.
Yeah,
Tom, I want a song title from you that rivals Stale Burrito. We have to have a war. Nick, coming for you, and Joey's got Blind Men Driving. That's a good title.
I'm off the hook. Leave me alone.
Breakfast at Waffle House.
Smothered covered.
I like it. Okay.
It's on the new album. Part of it was actually written at Waffle House on Bass Road here in Macon.
Well, we need to go. That's it.
I had stuff spread out, music spread out, and I'd gotten my traditional all-star breakfast, and I think I went through 10 cups of coffee that day.
What does the all-star breakfast consist of?
Smothered covered. It's
2 eggs. You either get bacon or sausage, or
I'll say there we go. You got the bacon.
For an extra charge, you can get ham. Either hash browns or grits, and then 2 waffles.
All right, let me ask you now. I want you to tell everybody about. I'm assuming your tone poem, or whatever you want to call this thing, about the meeting. Is that on the
meeting?
Yeah.
Oh,
is that on the new record?
It is on the new record.
Okay.
Okay. Now the record is called The Week Begins, and it was just a series of snapshots of moments that are during a really good work week. And so there's one where the meeting, and I was thinking, okay, I need a business presentation. And so the shtick is you've got 2 presenters who are doing some sort of business thing, and then in front of a skeptic, and then a curmudgeon. And there's no words, but great. But there's no words. Underneath is an ostinato of a slide projector, and then and it's no words, it's phonemes, ticka ticka da 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 ticka ticka da, and the curmudgeon is like so my wife and I, my wife is the skeptic. She says she sounds like a duck. Wah, 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 wah. And it's back and forth, but it works really well.
Nancy is so with you, because she names voices like Stevie Nicks' Goat Girl. No offense to Stevie Nicks, but no, because Stevie Nicks is, you can't put the Nicks down.
I concur with that.
Yeah, but there's a goat vibration level that she reaches. That
like if I
would like to see her on a farm and see if the goats come to her.
I would make a music video with anybody's song, but it would all be in nature, no people, and just use animals and birds and plants and flowers because it's way more fun.
Tom,
a way for me, but Nick, he would totally be a
Tom,
goat.
can you send this to Nancy? She wants to play. She does. She wants to play.
I would love to make
with your curmudgeon, and she could put the ducks in and everything.
Oh, I would totally
if she
do
can.
It.
She would like to make the ducks quack. This would be fantastic. I love this. I mean, because this is the thing that you're getting people to think and have some fun.
I just want to go back to basics.
I love that.
Before
I love
we
what you're
went
doing.
Stupid. I want to go back to
don't
the
use
basics.
the word stupid. Take the word stupid out. We're not allowed. All right. I want to go to Nancy.
Her own rule.
Oh, I know.
But
she is the mother.
Because it's my rule.
It's
but you yes
Yeah. Anyway, I want to go to Nick.
We'll
go
talk
ahead,
about
Tom.
this later.
No, but I am the rule.
You are the
rule.
But
Listen. The one thing I do want to say is Robert's Rules of Orders. They can take that and they can
you know
move
what
it.
they can do with that.
They can move the little gavel to the other place. But
there
anyway,
are no rules of order.
Nick, what's your song title? Come on, we got all kinds of things going on.
Well, like
we've had stale burritos, waffle houses. What's going on with your?
If I if are you saying like if I were to make a crazy song title?
Yeah. What's going on from your music that you play?
Oh, what? See, because earlier in the Zoom, I know you are talking about struggles and stuff. Like I'm more of dark, depressing music. But, yeah.
We can go there. We can go down. We can go, and we got Pam, who's the devil.
Yeah,
so,
I'm more
she's not the devil, by the way. Pam is awesome.
Yeah, but no, that's the way where the Zoom. But my stuff, like I prefer because there's one thing I thought about in life is just you kind of wish no one struggled and everything was perfect in the world, but
doesn't work.
But my favorite thing though is the songs that are about struggles and stuff. So it would take those great songs out of existence. So it's but yeah, I'm more of the struggle. But I mean, I do have some like fun songs that I play. I mean, that are. But usually when it's writing, it's more the darker stuff. But cover, I cover anything from Tom Petty to country stuff. So it's all over the place.
And your originals, though, and tell us a little bit about your original music if it's going dark and about the struggles, because I think that's an important thing. Life is not. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, people do progress that way, and they want to not even progress. Sometimes you want to be able to know you can't. Sometimes it's not time to progress. You have to sit with it and stare at it, whether or not you're seeing it, right? But you have to feel it, and you have to face the shit, like you were saying. Like you have to be in it. You have to smell the stink.
Yeah, well, I mean, happiness is one of those things earlier. It's just like. I actually recently said this at a show, because if I go and listen to, I don't drive currently, but I don't listen to a lot of radio, but because I've got a lot of friends in the Nashville country industry, and but a lot of those are like these upbeat, like happy songs. And at one of my recent shows, I was like, I apologize because I play a lot of sad and depressing stuff. So my apology. And people actually, when you tell them that, it's just, my dad's like, Nick, you shouldn't tell them that. I was like, no, it's the truth. And so, but it's just like, I was like, man, because I'm not that happy, but it's just like, but I love the darker stuff and just the deeper stuff, deep meanings. And I don't know, because I feel like those are the songs that stand the test of time, not
because unhappiness is always there around the corner. You, like Joey was saying, you can't be happy all the time, and it's a very important balance. It's a very important thing. Yeah,
the interesting thing is that your true character is often revealed through the struggle. It's like taking a piece of marble and forging it and chipping it away into a shape. You learn your true essence through struggle. And as long as I come out of the struggle wiser, better, kinder, then I'm okay with that. The other thing is that happiness, for whatever reason, in man, happiness is very transitory. It's fleeting. It's hard to hang on to. So I think the most important thing, and I think what Nick brings to the table here, is the thing that, when you go through a bad experience, for some reason, part of the human condition is that believe the lie that we're all alone and that no one can ever understand your struggles.
Oh, yeah.
And while there is some truth to that, I mean, I can't totally understand Nick's struggles. He can't totally understand mine. But the fact is, we can't empathize. And when you hear somebody who's a great artist like Nick sing a song and you go, oh my God, this guy's singing my life, that is a powerful moment of catharsis. Where you have realized that you're not alone. So those sad songs are very powerful for that reason. I think that it makes us relatable.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yes,
like music is so important to people.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kim.
I was just going to say, when Nick, Nick, when you were talking, I just heard the hook for a song you need to write, and you said, I only write sad songs, and I think that is an amazing hook. And you can take that further. I only write sad songs because it brings me peace of mind. It brings me a content. I think that would be fabulous.
Nick still has the patent pending to that hook. All right.
Oh, listen,
it's
and don't forget to send it as a postcard to yourself. To copyright that.
I got my stamps ready.
Can you write a song that says spinach sucks?
Oh yeah, all right. Oh, I think Tom, you've got to do
that's
that.
Our next one.
Tom, you gotta outrule. Like, oh, I can't help it now. This is just really bad. My gosh, it's really bad. But Waffle House should never have spinach in it. Anything.
No, spinach
waffles. I mean, not waffles. Omelets.
I like spinach. You guys are crazy.
Because Popeyes.
I like spinach too, Joey.
Thank you.
We're gonna do Popeye.
Listen, I'm going to bring you a big can of spinach on a live day.
All right. No, spinach is good if it's fresh, but if
I know what I'm mailing. I'm going to mail Nancy a big can of spinach. That's what I'm doing.
No, Joey. I've tried to sneak it in on pizza with white, the white cheese. I've tried to sneak it in on all kinds of things, and she finds out. But Joey, when we come to see you, then present it to her, because now it's like, when you go to dinner and someone's like,
then you have to do it.
And then you're like, I really can't eat these things or whatever.
Here's the interesting thing. I had another voice student of mine who was did it as a hobby, not wanting to be a big time singer, just wanting to improve her game when she went out for karaoke. But she was amazing. She was an attorney. Her name was Stacy, and she was always trying to diet. And she was not overly heavy, but she was always trying to diet. But she brought in peanut butter and spinach ice cream that she made.
Oh, God.
And I will tell you, it was good. That's all I'm going to say.
No.
All right. Dude. So speaking of that, it's not spinach because listen. We talked about this, I think, on a show with you, Joey, when it was Popeye Day or Spinach Day.
Yeah, I remember.
Did that. Yeah, but we're not doing spinach today. But we want to go. There is August. We're going to go over to holidays. So everyone, Joey's Alive Day is September 29th. But in closing off August, I just want to quickly go around the room before we close here on some of the last days of August. So August 28th has National Bow Tie Day. So guys, what do you think about bow ties? I mean, let's go to Pam though. Pam, do you like a man in a bow tie? Do you like women in bow ties? I mean, I'm covering all bases, like trying.
You know what? I do like to see a nice bow tie that matches the ensemble that the person is wearing. It's just a touch of class.
There is a class.
Do you require a cummerbund with that bow tie, Pam? Do you require a cummerbund with the bow tie?
Cummerbunds are a whole nother genre.
And that is all cumber. The word cumber means cumbersome.
That's right.
In the butt.
Right in there with crinolines.
Sounds like, sounds like a padding for your butt.
Okay. So I want to go to Tom. What's your rule on bow ties? I have to go there. I'm just terrible. Sorry, Tom.
Never apologize for a good pun. I don't do bow ties. Yeah, it annoys me when people apologize for their puns. No, I don't do bow ties.
I'm sorry.
I have enough trouble.
Just apologized again.
So do you do the classic long tie? And
when I have to, yes.
Yeah, I think anything around your neck is like scary.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, the whole thing.
I had to wear a tie for school back in the day. And I
know that was so much fun.
In South Africa and Kenya.
She threw it under the school bus once, and I had to go get it.
You had to wear uniforms.
A brat.
And
you were
sucked.
Such a brat.
And so the tie thing was not happening. And you could do clip-ons or the real one. I do know how to make a good tie, but not a bow tie.
And the
bow
hat.
ties. There's a little kid that made a business out of bow ties when he was like a kid, and now he's an adult, I think, and like really turned it into like a really big business.
Dude, she had to wear I wish I could remember his name. A bow tie.
And no, it was not a bow tie. It was a tie. But Nick, what about you? Are you going to wear a bow tie? What do you think?
First bow tie. The first thing I think of is my pediatric doctor I had when I was growing up. Shout out to Dr. Bill Tift. He would always have a bow tie on, and he just retired. And anytime someone says bow tie, I think of that man right there. But no, I'm not a bow tie person. I do like I only have one dress shirt and one pair of dress pants, and I've got more ties than I do of those. But once in a while I'll wear a tie and something nice. But it's usually a pearl snap shirt and jeans for me.
Oh, there you go.
You know, the whole thing of the tie, is it not like you're going to get hung somewhere?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Is like, oh,
Joey, what about you? Are you getting tied up?
Well, hopefully I behave well enough that I'm not going to get tied up anytime soon. Honestly, so my mom's an incredible woman, as we've talked about in the past. But she has given me a real complex and says that my neck is too short to look good with my collar buttoned all the way. And so I have now a phobia of ties. I think they make me look bad, so I don't wear them. I don't wear any kind of tie.
There's nothing wrong with your neck.
Well, I mean, she's I don't know. She's like, I didn't look good on you. Your neck's too short. Well, okay. So that's a focus. She also said that T-shirts are not my best look. So I never wear T-shirts except to sleep in. So.
Well, there it is. Hey, T-shirts.
So
well, I wouldn't live without a T-shirt, man. That's kind of, it's really hard. We have to do Zoom video things. I'm like, I'm in trouble. Okay. So August 29th is Literacy and Numeracy Week that kicks it off. So knowing your numbers and reading. And so I'm going to go to Tom here first, since he's in the education world. I want to go to each of you. What is the last thing that you've read? Do you read? Do you listen to audiobooks? I know Joey does. I know, because I always ask authors now, but when we do author interviews, do you have audiobooks? And like, we were thinking about it. I said, Joey said you must. Like, you're missing a huge audience.
Obeyed that rule.
And there's, and listen, a lot of our site, people with sight, our friends, they're listening to audio in the car and stuff like that. So, but literacy and numeracy, I like the numbers part too. Because I think we've forgotten how to add without using an app or something.
You gotta know how to throw the dice.
Yeah.
I am very good at adding because I bill by the hour. So.
Well done. Joey's like an attorney. So Joey, have you ever gambled? You ever go to a casino and gamble? Ever?
I don't gamble. It doesn't appeal to me. I'll take, listen, $20 in Vegas will last me an hour and a half. It'll last me an hour and a half. So I used to like the slot machines, not because of the money, but because I love the sounds they made as little kids.
Yeah. See, we like the videos. Yeah.
But now they print out little tickets. You don't hear that rain of coins anymore. So it's not exciting.
I know.
Also, slot machines are a complete ripoff, but I do like to play. I also like to do roulette because I like to hear the little ball spin. But I do really love blackjack. But again, I never risk more than $20. I never.
That's been the rule, and then I lose it, and I go talk to my Nancy really well and start calling her mom suddenly.
What? Yeah, because that one casino where you couldn't stand up anymore, Lisa.
Oh no, because I couldn't. No, remember, because of the asthma attack. No. I really, but I've done really well. But you do need to know numbers. I don't care if you're playing slots or anything, because you can get screwed over if you get swept away. And music teaches you numbers. So I'm going back to Tom. Yeah. Tom, on the education side, is there a latest book you've read, or are you into numerology?
Well, I'm a musician, so I can only count to 4, 6 on a slow day. Book I'm reading right now is called God, Technology, and You by Rinke is the guy's name. Tony Rinke, I think, is his first name. A really, really interesting look at technology and how things have been going. It goes all the way back to pre-Noah times with Cain and his children. So
wow.
Really interesting.
With the slabs.
What was that book? I've got it in my wish list now, because it is on audio, by the way. I've never talked to you. But what was that other book you were reading about a musician's life?
Andrew Peterson.
Yeah.
Shoot, it's a brown cover, and I can't remember the name of it.
Well, I'll just Google that right now.
It's Andrew Peterson. He talks about the his life as an artist and creativity and all that stuff, and it's really vulnerable, not in a scary kind of way, but just the path and the whole the angst that you go through. He's a singer-songwriter.
Oh, I'm on there right now, and it's like he's got so many. He's written a bunch.
Yeah, he's been around a good while and very prolific. And but
God of the Garden, thoughts?
You know,
God of the Garden.
No,
that's not it. I can't remember the title either, but that's not it.
Okay. Well, I also want to keep moving on here.
I'm looking it up too.
I know, Adorning the Dark. Now it got sucked into Andrew Peterson. I want to go to Pam, because she also brought up authors. Pam, who's the latest person you've read, or do you want to talk about numbers? What would be the best for you?
Numbers.
I am almost at the end of Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle.
Ooh.
Wow. I would not have picked you for a Vonnegut fan.
Yeah, I am a Vonnegut fan, and I read most everything as a teenager, and now I'm going back and reading it as an old woman who's lived a lot of life. And
don't say old. No, experienced.
But I am. I'm old in years.
No, you're
experienced. You're not old, my friend. You're just well seasoned.
No, you're
well seasoned. I go with experienced. Well seasoned is good.
Oh, she's that's
cool. That's really cool.
Vonnegut. You have surprised me today.
Well, good. Hey. But this one, I'm just because I do a lot of thinking and listening, and I try to learn. And I know. And this book, I'll probably read it again, because it gives you a construct. And then one of the characters will say, "Do you see the cat? Do you see the cradle?" Because when you do the string art or the cat's cradle, you don't see either, right?
Now I'm gonna have Cats in the Cradle in my head all night.
Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Moon.
I'm so, and I'm going to be all Harry Chapin.
Yeah, there it goes.
Now it's stuck in my head. Once it starts, it's bad. Well, thank you, Pam, for that.
You're welcome.
You always draw me in on something I shouldn't be in for some reason, but that's good.
Oh my gosh,
Harry Chapin is always good. No, Harry Chapin is always good in my book. I think he is one of the best singer-songwriters. That I really do. I think he was underknown.
He's not.
Cats in the Cradle was one of the biggest things, right? But he wrote so much more.
Do you see the cat? Do you see the cradle? Well, as long as I'm dragging you to the light side of the street,
but you have to go through the dark
road.
We're going to go through Nick first. Nick's going to take us to the dark, and then we can come to you for the light.
Because it's cool. So I like the dark.
It is. You know what?
Where are you leading us in the dark with books and numbers?
I
feel like someone's going to bust out a Ouija board thing or something just now. What the heck?
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And we got Tom here with Christmas. I mean, we've got
come on.
Things could combust at any time.
Let's hear the dark side of the moon.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's a good one. Oh yeah, no, I've got a few different, but luckily they're not dark side. They're just autobiographies and stuff. I got the Bruce Springsteen. I get ADD. I told you earlier, so it's just I've got a few sitting on. But the one I'm currently actually into is it's a sports broadcaster named Ernie Johnson Jr. and his his him and my dad know each other, so that's kind of how I got to reading that one. So that's what I'm on. Blackberry Moments is his thing. So
I'll have to check that out. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's real good. Yeah, so
Bruce Springsteen has got a good. I mean, I remember reading Born to Run years ago in the 90s. I read it. I think it came out like earlier. Did he write it? I had the actual book years ago. Born to Run.
I know that
a book.
We taught Lisa's horse in South Africa who couldn't gallop right. I don't know why until we played.
She was abused.
Bruce Springsteen music, and we taught her to gallop to the music.
We would play music for the horses, and they would
gallop.
They would be happy. Horses love music, and if you look at a lot of,
we could get them to understand the rhythm because we didn't want to do the crop and the whip.
Well, she was abused. She was abused by a sheriff on a polo. Yeah. He played polo with her and beat her up. Yeah. So he thank you, Nancy. He beat her up in the stable
he is horrible.
And beat her up with the polo stick. And so it just took a lot of carrots and a lot of patience and music and music.
We took her.
I went into like competitions and stuff just to get her out and not to compete because like that's the Macon manure stuff.
No, we got her and we used music to help her get her gait right and to gallop and to
Bruce
be
Springsteen was it. The Born in the USA album was it.
Yeah, that's Born in the USA.
And we would pass it into the paddock and she would, and Nancy had a horse that would do it. So who knew? But Joey, we're off to the races apparently, but what's your latest book? I know you listen to books all the time.
Yeah. I'm always reading. I'm like Nick. I usually have 3 or 4 that I'm going through, but currently I've got 2 that are pretty interesting. One is pretty serious. It's called The Chaos Machine, and it's about about social media and the benefits and concerns. So a lot of interesting things there, and it's pretty good. It's pretty deep, and it's kind of heavy because there's with any technology, with anything, there's certainly a lot of room for abuse. And so you have to try and think about, this wonderful technology that we've created to help connect people, how can it possibly be abused? So it's a very interesting book. It postulates some things that are a little counterintuitive. So it's a pretty enlightening book, I think. And I think something everybody should read if they have time, because it certainly changes how you view social media. And I use it, to be honest. I mean, I use it because I'm trying to sell records, frankly. I mean, that's but if I weren't doing that, I probably would hardly ever be on it. But I do think it's a great way to keep up with, births and deaths and things like that, and weddings and things. But anyway, the other thing I'm reading is a very lighthearted fantasy romp. It's a series of books. I just read the 9th one in the series. It's called The Kane Chronicles, and it's pretty silly. It's pretty silly. I like it. It's got a lot of I call it the everything book because it has it's like steampunk, sci-fi, urban fantasy. It's a little bit of everything. It's pretty good stuff. So it's just a fun, easy read.
I'm gonna have to find. We did an interview with someone who did that where it had a little bit of all of that, and it was about Edison and Tesla.
Oh my gosh, I love those guys.
And it was like the war between them, and it was a novel about it.
I'm on Tesla's side myself.
I know, right? It's true. Tesla was the dude, and somebody else had the political sense. But okay, so August 30th is National Beach Day. So real quick, everybody pick a beach. Which beach do you want to go to? I think I know where Joey's going, but I know where I'm going. Wrong. Joey, where are you going for a beach time?
It's tied. It's tied. Either St. Augustine, Florida, because I grew up around there, Yeah, and I love it. I know it intimately, and it's just a great source of solace and comfort, and it's a great place to recharge. But I also love Diamond Head on the island of Oahu. So those are both excellent beaches. My wife accuses me of getting more bourgeois the older I get, and I think there's probably some truth to that.
But he's being beachy.
She calls me bougie. But the fact is, when we went to Diamond Head, we stayed at a hotel at the Kahala Mandarin that had a private beach, and that's living, my friend.
Oh,
when you got a private beach, that's living.
That I'm pro that in a lot of ways, and then I'm completely against it because of nature. So that's a weird thing. It's a weird thing because
life is complicated.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, it's not complicated. It's a series of choices that you have to make.
I know, but anyway,
all I know is it's all Tom's fault.
Oh, Tom's rules of order. What beach are you going to?
Yeah, what beach do you like, Tom? What's your favorite beach?
Amelia Island.
Oh,
that's a good
we
one.
Done that.
Now we're talking. Now that's bouge.
No, a lot of people keep telling us we need to go to Amelia Island. The history, there's a fort and everything out there, right? And all those Spanish moss trees and the trees with Spanish moss.
It's pretty, and we do a VRBO rental. We've got the family down there. We've done that several times. And what I like about it when we get to go is the beach is uncrowded because I'm not a crowds kind of person. So it's great.
So Pam, where are you going to the beach?
I'm going to go.
She wants a beach breeze. It's a cool beach breeze.
That's right. I'm going back to my home state of North Carolina. And actually spent a lot of time at Sunset Beach, and I released a song last August called First Summer Love.
By the way, that is on the Alive Day physical compilation CD. It is not on the digital Spotify playlist for reasons I shan't bore you with. But anyway.
It's all right. It's all right. But that song's just a memory of being 16 and falling in love.
Was this
a beach?
Wait, this is a difference. Was it a private or public beach that this all went down on?
Oh, public.
She made it public. Oh, wow.
Yeah, fall in love. You just fall in love. Just put it out there.
What is it about summer that gets people all like, the summer love, and then all of a sudden fall comes? They're like, all right, we're over you now. We had the spring. We're done.
See you next summer.
No, dude,
what is it?
True. Summer is all hot and fun and running around.
Hot and sweaty gets everybody all attracted.
And then you go inside with a nice blankie with the hot and fun trips. And
all right. Nancy's on an extended trip. Nick, what about you? What's happening for you beach time?
Well, first, I haven't been to the beach in like 11 years, but
then we're gonna come pick you up. We're gonna come pick you up because you've got some beautiful Georgia beaches. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I grew up going to Hilton Head with that.
All right.
That always keep. But if I were to go to any beach, it's always those ones I see on posters where it's just this like nice, beautiful, exotic little bit. Yeah, with the clear water. That's one of these days. I'm gonna get to one of those. Yeah,
you got to go to the beach. Dude.
He wants the bourgeois side. Do you want it to be
private?
He wants to go with Joey.
Yeah, there's a guy named Kenny Chesney who like has his own. Yeah, I'm gonna go to one of those little. What's his name?
Richard Branson has his own island.
Cheeseburger in Paradise.
There you go.
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, Jim Buffett. I'll go to one of his beaches. I would love that.
Well, see, so Nick's gone to this whole thing where he's going to have his own private island. So he's really topped us all.
But then you get lonely.
Yeah. No. You bring a bevy of cuties with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So here it is.
Listen.
This is the most important day.
That's a new album, A Bevy of Cuties.
Because we talked about Joey's Alive Day coming in September, we're going to close the show with the end of September. There's so much happening in September, everyone. We have links in the show notes. But we're going to close off on August 31st, which is the most important day of the planet.
Please.
It's National Trail Mix Day, which I think is interesting, but it's also Eat Outside Day. And Joey, I mean, you've got a festival. You're in downtown Macon. I know it's in a theater and everything, but I want to close with
It's also Lisa's birthday.
Yeah, it's my birthday. It's my day. Like it is. And I will own it.
Boy.
But,
is that August 31st? Is that your day?
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. It's a big day. Eat outside day is my favorite thing. I mean, we live outdoors in natures all the time. Like that's what we do traveling the country. It's like we're outside and normally we're kind of boring with cheese sandwiches, but pizza, bring the cake, we've got a giant bag of M&Ms we're still working through over like weeks. But I want to know, like, eat outside day. Everybody does all the, oh, you can only have this kind of sandwich. But I've learned, like, if you're going to hike a mountain, eat the fancy thing at the top. Don't, if you're going to put the effort to being outside and doing things, have what you want. There are such things as coolers and cookers if you want to cook it outside. But whatever you're going to do, barbecue, eat outside with your friends, family, have some good music.
So much fun.
And as far as I'm concerned, the best gigs are outside because you got that breeze. You got, I don't know, you feel with nature. So it's even more tribal to me. Barefoot on stage. Perfect. So let's go with this. We're going to have a party, a big picnic outdoors. I want to know what song you want to hear and what are you bringing to the outdoor foodie party? And so it could be from Waffle House. That's okay. You can do that, Tom. Tom, what are you bringing to the party and what song do you want to hear? Oh, and bring a person. Bring a person. How about that?
I would decidedly bring my wife. We've been married 41 years this year.
Wow. That's
congratulations. That's
how
the heck does anybody do that?
Wow.
Lots of patience on her part, I'm quite sure.
Oh my God.
Joey can attest to that. Gee, what song? I don't really do many food things.
But any song that you want to just hear when you're eating and having a good time.
There's a Bob Bennett song that was one of my favorites called "Matters of the Heart" that I really like. It's dates back from the 80s. Bob Bennett, 2 N's and 2 T's. He's actually still performing, I think. And what to eat? Ooh, steak.
Hey, why just go right to it? Just a medium, rare, well done.
Medium.
Oh, he wants half
the
blood.
Perfect steak temperature.
He's a half blood.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I can't say that. Someone's gonna get me for saying that. I don't. Just came out. Sorry. All right. So Pam, what about you? What do you, come on. I know you bake apple pie. But what are you bringing to the table and what do you want to hear while you're, and who you're bringing to the table?
Well, I'm going to bring potato salad. Homemade potato salad.
Yeah. Oh, nummy.
And somewhere in the set list, I'd really like to hear Mustang Sally.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
Wilson Pickett version?
Wilson Pickett, little Mustang Sally.
Yeah, the real one.
I am going to dance my shoes off, eating potato salad, listening to Mustang Sally with Johnny Depp.
Oh, Johnny Depp's coming. Did you watch the trial? Did you get stuck into the trial?
No, I no, but I did watch a documentary about him. He's a fascinating human being. I've always been in love with him, but he's
a fantastic
talented person.
He's an amazing musician.
I have a very important question for Pam.
Okay,
and that is, are they dill or sweet pickles in this potato salad?
I was going to ask too.
Yeah.
Well, in North Carolina, where I grew up, we make it with dill. But I know in Georgia they prefer sweet.
No,
I'll just bring a bowl of each, and then we won't have spice.
See, here's the thing: pickle relish is a mix of both.
See, but I apparently did the worst thing.
So if you get the chopped up pickle relish, you get the best of both worlds.
Well,
but if you're really aficionado of the dill or the sweet, then you got to go that side.
Well, some people don't use mayonnaise. Some of us use a balsamic vinaigrette or do something a little different. And I remember when we first got here to this country anyway, and we had our band, and this is San Diego, and I was in charge of the potato salad for a Thanksgiving dinner. And I said, sure, I can, because I always made potato salad. I've never really done Thanksgiving. This was like one of the first Thanksgivings in this country.
Yeah.
And now I'm charged with doing this. And it was for our bass player's family thing and who I was dating at the time. apparently that was the end of our relationship, was the potato salad, because apparently but it didn't, because I grew up different. So like in that, like the spices, you're going to have
special,
like
not different.
Well, it is. I put a little chili powder, a little curry.
Oh my God.
Curry.
No,
because we spice it up a little bit, And listen,
his mother didn't like her.
No, he didn't. That was too much of a punk.
She didn't like you.
But no, she didn't. I wasn't. And then apparently
you were foreign. She was a.
It was the same Thanksgiving where
she was a foreigner.
I didn't understand that the sweet potatoes, that the stuff at the top was not cheese. I didn't understand that there was marshmallows. I didn't understand any of the Thanksgiving food. And I had I needed a divorce on that Thanksgiving. I was like, I don't know what we're giving thanks for, but I'm giving it back to you now. You can have it. You can box it up. You can flush it. You can do something, but it's not staying here any longer. And I've learned since about Thanksgiving how to navigate that table. And I will stick to the white meat of the turkey, and that's about it. And that's it.
No, I could make a whole video of Lisa at Thanksgiving dinners.
No, that was one of the biggest culture shocks of coming back to America.
It's true, because you were brought up in Africa.
And we put curry in everything. But anyway, let's go to Nick. Come on, bring us home back to what are we eating outside, and who are you bringing to the table?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and music.
I got to bring my best friend, or at least one of my guitars with me. That's my.
Right on. Oh, so you're going to play the song? So you're going to play this song.
Yeah,
what is it?
Just like that's where it gets. I don't know. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. It's like I tell people, I don't have like a favorite song. It's like people are like, if you're going to listen to one thing, it's like I can, man, because every hour, every day is different. So it's
Well, right now, what would you play?
What would you play?
Like lately, I've been playing a bit of it's Eagles. Let's see. Oh, this thing on the ground. Oh yeah, peaceful, easy feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great
song. That's
a great.
But that's it when you're outside.
Nice.
That's a good.
That's nice.
Yeah. And I do it nice and chilled, so it's just like I play with the breeze and just the birds singing, and yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's perfect. That's perfect. What do you?
What's the food?
Yeah, what's the food?
Okay, well,
Joey's getting right to it, man.
Yeah.
Well, he's making me hungry.
Yeah, well, a lot of, like this time of year, it's hot as heck. So usually, a lot of times, every now and then, I'll usually the afternoon, I'll just go make PB&J, and I'll sit outside with my guitar and do that. Yeah,
nice.
There's nothing like and fresh peanut butter too, and a good jam, like a good strawberry jam. Love it. So, Joey.
Yes.
All right, outside.
I'm playing with you.
That is the first time this has been silent the entire hour. That's hilarious.
I wanted to give you guys a little something different.
Well, Joey and Nancy are taking the run for they're in a competition.
Yeah, we're going at it.
I don't know who's going to win.
Yeah, well, basically, I obviously have to bring my lovely wife. That's a given. Yeah. She is my everything. She's, just an integral part of my existence. So there's that, on the food element. One of the things I have to have is potato salad, and Pam's bringing that, so I don't need to do that. So one of the things that my wife makes is, she's an excellent cook, which is one of the reasons that we have extra pounds to love, is that she's such a great cook. But she makes an amazing pasta salad, which I think would be a nice addition, and also an amazing cucumber salad. And I always think of those things when I think of summertime. So that's what I bring. Musically, I truly am an eclectic soul and love everything. But one of the songs that always makes me think of summer, because I remember in the mid 80s, this song just always made me think of summer. I don't know why. Perhaps I heard it for the first time when I was going to the beach, or I'm not really sure. but it's always stuck in my head as a summer song. Whether it was released this summer, I don't know. But it's West End Girls by the Pet Shop Boys.
Pet Shop Boys, yeah.
And it's just a neat little tune, and it's got a good beat. It's got this wonderful synth line, and it's a very good melody. And
those drums going tick 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 at the back.
Yeah. It's just
Tom,
great.
you know about the tick 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 tick.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Joey,
one of the things.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Joey, would you also bring some gummy bears that haven't fallen into the floorboard of the car?
Hey, I'm on it. You know what? I can even bring you gluten-free gummy bears because they have.
Oh, I like gluten-free because I like horses. So I don't want to eat horses.
Seriously, when she gets them off the floor of the car.
I mean, I feel like you shouldn't be doing that at your age.
I just my heart goes somewhere else. I'm like, dude, seriously, I want to grab it away from her.
And you don't because
it's sugar. It's sugar.
Yeah.
It's good for you, but it's not.
No,
but all right.
Dirty. It's dirty, and I'm like, dude, why are you?
Yeah.
Come on,
I think Lisa needs to talk. Have maybe a conversation with Nancy. When we're off the podcast about good healthy eating habits and how typically things on the floor of a car shouldn't be eaten.
Yeah, but Nancy doesn't eat spinach, so.
Well, we're going to fix that. I'm going to slip her some spinach and she won't know it.
No, I hate spinach.
Spinach gummy bears. There we go. All right, so Joey, music.
I really want to write a song that says spinach sucks.
Okay, stop it.
If you pay me, I can.
Oh, see? Oh, go Joey. Well done. He's a businessman of the podcast today. So Joey, you got your pasta salad. You got Jennifer. She's there, right?
Yeah.
Music. Yeah. What's the music? What's the song?
Oh, that's what I was saying. The West End, the Pet Shop
the West End. That's right. The West End. Yeah. Now, Nancy. Now, Nancy, is it Eric Burton for you? Eric Burton.
I should toss up between Chris Christopherson and Eric Burton.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. I have this now. It's
not excluding anybody Nick, we're talking to today because I love you all.
Nick, you did this. It's Tom Petty. Once you get Tom Petty in my head, it's like it goes stupid. It now becomes. I'm gonna have to go listen. Is Wildflowers? You belong in the Wildflower. That is going to be the outdoor song for me for a picnic because it's true. That is one of the best.
I may play that a live day. Who knows?
You should. I mean, it's such a good song because it reminds people about we're from Earth, we're nature, and that we do belong being beautiful and free and happy. Yeah. I think one of his best songs. And
I'm gonna write that down. I may put that on the set list.
There you go.
That's a great album.
It is, isn't it? One of the best albums he put out. And he wasn't that far from you in Gainesville, Florida.
Also has a guest appearance by Ringo Starr on that record. So
that's right. And Ringo is one of my favorite
Ringo
people.
Starr.
I love Ringo. All right, everybody, we got to run. We did say goodbye to August. Hello to September. Stay tuned for the next big weekly blend for that. But we said hello with the Alive Day, and you can't beat that. So everyone, if you're not in Georgia and you're traveling near Georgia and you want to go to Georgia, this is the time. September 29th, Alive Day, Joey Stuckey Alive Day is happening. Go to joeystuckey.com. Put everybody's links in the show notes. Plus, we're going to create a music list and include the Joey Stuckey Alive Day music from their playlist and a lot more that is saying goodbye to August and hello to September. And all I can say is remember that August 31st is the best day on the planet. Everybody needs to party and listen to good music on August 31st and September 29th. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Nick, for joining us. Thank you. Big hugs, Joey. We're so excited for your September 29th Alive Day. And I know that we're going to have a big follow-up, fun conversation with you on it as well.
Absolutely. Loved everybody. Thanks so much, everybody, for being part of this.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Bye,
Tom.
everybody.
Thanks,
Later.
Pam. Thanks, Nick.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Pam. I want that apple pie.
You got it.
Yeah.
But look.